Hello and welcome along to this funding opportunity for the Phase 2 raise at Burton Enterprise Centre, Waterloo Street, Burton-upon-Trent, postcode DE14 2NB. Now, CrowdProperty is a peer-to-peer lending platform designed to facilitate loans between private individuals and professional property businesses. CrowdProperty is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. It's under permission number 723959. CrowdProperty is not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. There are risks with any loans you make, and just like all peer-to-peer lending, your capital is at risk. CrowdProperty endeavours to protect all lenders. This is done by registering the legal first charge against the property project. This means that in the very unlikely event a borrower defaults on the loan, CrowdProperty will be able to take ownership of the project and manage it for the lenders. So this project is the Phase 2 launching on the 19th of February 2019. That's 10 o'clock on the 19th of February, where CrowdProperty will be raising £456,000 from the previously completed loan agreement of £1.25 million. CrowdProperty agreed to lend that £1.25 million in two raises, and the loan commenced on the 6th of July 2018 for an agreed 18 months maximum loan period. The Phase 1 raise was £794,000, and that provided funds towards the purchase of the site together with initial construction costs. Phase 2 will be £456,000, and that will continue to be utilised towards the cost of the works. Burton Enterprise Centre was previously used for office space and is currently being converted to 25 apartments by Burton Waterloo Limited. Their company number is 113-58127, and planning has been granted under reference number P/2017/01105. The property is situated on the east of Waterloo Street. It's in a mixed commercial and residential area, and the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, they've estimated the gross development value to be £2.06 million. Phase 2 lenders will receive around about 10 months worth of interest, and the first charge security has already been secured through the existing legal agreement. Now, on this project there's no minimum bid limit or maximum bid limit on this raise, so anywhere between £500 and the full amount wanted to be raised of £456,000 can be bid right from the launch time of 10 o'clock on the 19th of February. So the borrower has already commenced the conversion works to provide 25 apartments to sell on completion. The site, located just about half a mile from Burton-upon-Trent city centre, it's approximately 0.3 miles from Burton train station and 1 mile from Queen's Hospital. The city centre includes retailers such as Next, HSBC, Sainsbury's, and in addition there's the Octagon shopping centre as well. Burton-upon-Trent back in 2011 had a population of just over 72,000 people. The demonym for residents of the town is called Burtonians. 25% of the site is covered by the building. The rest comprises a yard and car parking for around 20 vehicles, and the site is located within close proximity to the train station. Trains from Burton are about 30 minutes into Birmingham and 2 hours into London. So that planning consent was granted by the East Staffordshire Council. Permission was granted for the conversion of the building into 25 apartments. The gross development value has been valued as follows. There's one studio flat at £50,000, 9 one-bedroom flats at £65,000, and 15 two-bed flats at £95,000. So all of that adds up to a total gross development value of £2.06 million. As per the RICS evaluation. The build programme is 40 weeks, with that programme currently being on schedule. The borrower will look to either sell the 12 flats or they will create an HMO for 49 rental rooms, and they expect to achieve a gross annual rent of £242,060. The term is for a maximum of 18 months from the loan commencement date, which is the 6th of July 2018. That's when the Phase 1 raise was done. So this remaining loan term for this Phase 2 raise is around about 10 months. And remember, the first charge security, that's already in place and it has been secured. Here's a location map as to where Burton upon Trent is here, and the site is nominated there by the CrowdProperty flag. So Burton upon Trent, the A38 here going up towards Derby. In the other direction it goes down towards Tamworth and Birmingham. Then we've got other areas here, the M1 coming just up here with Loughborough and Nottingham. So that's its location. Let me show you a little bit more about the site. Here it is here in the middle of your map. Burton Enterprise Centre is situated on the northern edge of the town centre, with the city centre to the south. Burton Town Hall is 0.2 miles to the south. Burton and South Derbyshire College is 1 mile to the south as well, and Burton Albion Football Club, that's about 1.5 miles to the northeast. Shobnall Leisure Complex and Park is to the west, and Burton is famous for its beer brewing and has some of the largest brewery companies, which include Marston's and Coors, and today the largest employers include Queen's Hospital and many retail outlets in locations such as the Octagon Shopping Centre and Burton upon Trent's city centre. So with the RICS values, the development will comprise of a total of 25 units. The studio flat is estimated to be £50,000. Those 1-bedroom flats, there's 9 of them at £65,000 each. There's 15 2-bedroom flats at £95,000 each, all of that adding up to a GDV of £2.06 million. There's the proposed ground floor with various flats out there which you can see detailed. I realise that's a bit small for you to be able to read, but that's on the first floor. And then looking at the second floor, there is then 6 apartments at one part of it laid out there. Then a separate area of the first floor, there are 4 apartments laid out. Here's the work, photos that will show the progress, including the installation of the stairs, the stud partitions and the floor beams. They were taken about a month or 2 ago, and things have moved on at a pace since these photos were taken. And the works on the site at that time completed were the demolition and strip out, 50% of the new foul drainage completed, and all the new channels in the concrete were cut out. All new structural beams and columns were installed. The metal framed partitionings were erected. The plasterboard installed to the first floor of the Waterloo Street wing. There's the metal frame ceilings installed and plasterboard ceilings installed as well to the first floor of that Waterloo Street wing. The electrical first fix commenced and about 25% completed back then. And then works that are planned prior to the next Independent Monitoring Surveyor's inspection, the partition boarding and skimming, the electrical and mechanical installation, completion of all substructure including the installation of the below ground drainage, and there's another Independent Monitoring Surveyor that's been scheduled for the final week in February. So this is the second phase raise of £456,000. There's a maximum of 2 raises of this project, totalling £1.25 million. So that first raise was for £794,000 back in June of 2018. The initial market value prior to the commencement of the works, verified by RICS, was for £806,000, and CrowdProperty released at purchased £425,000 and also £160,000. That was towards the initial works as validated by the Independent Monitoring Surveyor. The agreed cost of the conversion works is £800,000. The second phase raise will enable the borrower to continue the building works. Remember that total GDV £2.06 million based on the RICS view of the outturn values. The expected loan to value at the exit, if it goes the full term, is 68.28% when you include the rolled up interest. So the loan amount being raised in phases, £794,000 contributed towards the purchase of the site and the initial works. This will be the second raise, which is for £456,000 out of a total of 2 raises, secured with the first charge against the property paying 8% per annum interest, and that interest is to be paid at the end of the project. Remember, the maximum loan period is 18 months, and that commenced in July, that's the 6th of July 2018, so that means that phase 2 lenders will receive around about 10 months worth of interest, with the capital plus the interest being repaid from the refinance of the loan. So the borrowers on this project, well, the property was purchased in an SPV, a special purpose vehicle, called Burton Waterloo Limited. Their company registration number is 113-58127, and the owners and directors of the company are Fabio Frisenda, Piotr Silic and Trevor Walker. Fabio has been in the property industry for 20 years, starting in agency and working for Century 21 Real Estate Group near Paris. In 2005, he was co-owner of a property investment company near Paris, sourcing and investing in renovation projects and flips. That's on plots of land between 2011 to 2016. And in that year, he returned to the UK and set up Investimo Limited, which incorporated in 2017, sourcing and investing in commercial buildings to create HMOs. Piotr has run a building company in the UK since 2007. He specialises in extensions, extensive refurbishments and commercial to residential conversions. He recently converted a pub into a 20 ensuite bed hostel in Liverpool. Piotr has also completed the conversion of 2 former NHS buildings, that was into 26 ensuite bedrooms and an HMO in St Helens. He owns 11 other properties in London and Manchester, including a mix of HMOs and singlets. Trevor is a Fellow of the Chartered Insurance Institute and a Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Loss Adjusters. He's now a full-time investor and property developer. His prior projects include the conversion of a former mill at Airedale House, that's Sunbridge Road in Bradford, that was into 37 flats. And on new builds, he's completed a 7-unit scheme at Linnet Lane in Liverpool. Now, Piotr is currently working on 2 other projects, including a joint venture with Fabio, that have also been funded by CrowdProperty. So Beeman's building, Eccleston Street in St Helens, that site has been cleared, including the removal of fixtures and fittings, demolition of the existing structural wall, the staircase, and also the strip out of the existing mechanical and electrical services as required has been done. The first floor stud partitions and suspended ceilings completed. The ground floor is now 60% completed. The first fix of electrical work, first floor, has also been completed. And then the other project, which is Bury Barnbrook Building, which is Barnbrook Street in Bury, it's a joint venture between Fabio and Piotr. Works have continued with the final parts of the build programme, scheduled to be complete over the coming weeks. In lieu of this, the borrowers are expecting completion of the project in March 2019. En-suites have been installed to 10 of the bedrooms, and all doors have now been installed, and painting is due to complete over the next 2 weeks. Laminate flooring has been supplied, and then that is due to be installed soon too. So CrowdProperty believes in responsible lending and borrowing. The amount of this loan is based on the project and the experience of the developers. The total that's been agreed to lend is £1.25 million over 2 separate raises. The initial phase 1 raise of £794,000 contributed towards the purchase of the site and the initial site works. This second phase raise will contribute towards further costs of works, which will be released upon the Independent Monitoring Surveyor's verification. The loan to value at the completion of the development will be 68.28%, and CrowdProperty has the first charge to protect lenders in the event of a default. In the opinion of RICS, the gross development value is £2.06 million. And the loan term, 18 months from that loan commencement date of the 6th of July 2018, when monies were raised for phase 1. So that then means the second phase loan term is approximately 10 months, and will be incorporated into the current existing legal agreement, and this phase is targeted to commence on the 1st of March 2019. So your next steps then are to make sure that you understand this loan, carry out your own due diligence on the project and on the development team, and then please decide how much you would like to lend. Go to crowdproperty.com and pledge on launch. That launch is 10 AM on Tuesday the 19th of February 2019. And then people pledging successfully against this project, CrowdProperty will conduct the necessary anti-money laundering checks on those people, and then you'll be invited to send your funds to your very own CrowdProperty e-wallet. and you'll start earning interest on completion of the loan agreement. So thank you for watching this webinar. I hope you're able to help us with this project. This is the Burton Enterprise Centre, Waterloo Street in Burton upon Trent, DE14 2NB, the second phase raise of £456,000. My name is Andy Haynes. Thank you for listening to this webinar.